Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's launch event. We are super excited to see so many countries and stakeholder groups represented among the participants joining us today. My name is Johan Arbling. I have been the lead architect on this project, and it is my distinct pleasure to moderate the official launch event today. A quick introduction of the agenda. We will start with an introduction by David Williams from the ILO and Alexandra Bands from GIZ, including a short video trailer to preview the Asia Garment Hub. This will be followed by an industry panel discussion in which we will hear the perspective of different supply chain stakeholders, as well as a short audience Q&A session at the end. We will try our very best to keep this event within 1 hour. Just to let you know in advance, this session will be recorded and later made available for those who missed it or want to catch up on details. Please note, participants will all be on mute at all times. We encourage all of you to use the chat function, which I see some of you have already done, to post questions throughout the sessions so we can capture them and answer them. When posting a question in the chat, please state your name, the country you're based in, and the question clearly. The Asia Garment Hub team is monitoring the chat and will do their best to answer questions directly in the chat or direct them to the speakers in the Q&A session. For questions that can't be answered anymore for time restraints, we will also leave some contact details for post-event follow-ups. Now, before we start, let us do a quick test. If you hear me well, if you do, please give me a thumbs up using the emoji on the top of your screens now. Excellent. I see lots of thumbs up and I even see some hearts, which is a great start. Okay, I'm now going to hand over to two colleagues from the Asia Garment Hub's co-hosting organizations who have been leading this exciting initiative from the start. So we have Alexandra Baines, is the coordinator for regional cooperation at GIZ's Fabric Project based in Beijing, China. And David Williams is the project manager for the ILO Sweden Decent Work in Garment Supply Chains Asia project based in Bangkok, Thailand. David, please, over to you.
Thank you, Johan, for the introduction. It is a great privilege and an honor to be here today and to introduce the Asia Garment Hub to an audience from all corners of the global garment industry. As Johan mentioned in his opening, the Hub is a joint initiative of ILO and GIZ under our respective regional programs in the Asian garment sector. The CEDA-funded ILO project, Decent Working Garment Supply Chains Asia, and the BMZ-funded GIZ project, Fabric Asia. And the Asia Garment Hub itself has been almost 2 years in the making. Our aims in creating the Hub are simple: to create a unique online space to connect the industry and help provide tools and knowledge for stakeholders to take action to improve sustainability.
In fact, we realized in both our projects that the industry in Asia has lots and lots of experiences and good practice examples. And there are many stakeholders who have knowledge on and who have existing solutions to sustainability challenges. But these solutions are actually quite widely shared and they are not always easy to find, sometimes simply for language barriers. So one of the objectives of the Asia Garment Hub is to help industry stakeholders to navigate in a highly crowded and sometimes even messy sustainability landscape. The Asia Garment Hub therefore offers the industry's first one-stop shop for data, information, for tools on sustainability, helping all industry stakeholders, from brands to factories to workers and unions and policymakers, to better find, understand, promote, and operationalize decent work and sustainable business practices.
So what we're presenting today, therefore, is a unique, new, free-to-use web platform, which we hope will become the premier resource for sustainability and decent work in the Asian garment sector. The platform is one piece of a wider effort by ILO and GIZ to promote more and more effective knowledge sharing in Asia. And by bringing people and knowledge together in this way, we really hope to be a catalyst towards improved industry cooperation and practical action on critical industry challenges.
Now, what's very important, as already stated, a lot of information and solutions already exist, and we don't want to duplicate them, but rather to make them easier to find. So how does that work? The Hub has a number of different features, which were developed in close consultation with industry partners. Some of you may already have been involved with us a while back when we conducted industry surveys and focus group discussions, because we wanted to better understand the different needs of different industry stakeholders first. And we also organized a number of bilateral calls with different organizations, and we will continue to do so as the Hub evolves. Now, the current features that we set up offer different pathways to the information and resources you may need. Let me give you a practical example, and as you can see on the screen now, a colleague from the ILO will also show you live how that works on the screen. So let's assume you are a garment producer from Vietnam, and a brand sourcing from you asks you to reduce your CO2 emissions and to calculate your energy consumption. Actually, the Asia Garment Hub can help you get started on that issue. Let me give you some examples how that could work. So maybe you first want to understand a little better about what others in the industry do. For example, what other brands are doing and how they approach the issue of climate action. For that, one option to do so and to find out more is to go on our thematic sites, where you find the sub-site climate and environment, for example, and you can find more information on the topic. Another possibility to use the Asia Garment Hub to find out more on this issue, to find more information if you are a factory looking for it, is you can check our industry calendar. So if you look in our top bar, you will see the industry calendar and you can go to search events. And right there, you can check what industry trainings or industry events are available on the topic. And you can actually filter them on the right by different topics. Here, for example, you can see climate and environment, and you can check if they are offered in Vietnam. You can even check if they are offered in your local language. Another option is if you want to check existing resources. So you can go to our resource library on the main page, and there you can filter existing materials, maybe even training materials. You don't want to use the whole training, but actually you want to browse through the training materials or read some studies on the topic. And you can find all of those in the resource library, where you can filter them by theme, by country, by language, and so on. Another pathway to access information is if you maybe say, I need external support on this. I need to understand where me and my factory are at, and I need help for that. And that's where the who is who function on the top comes in handy. On the who is who, you can find organizations, for example, service providers in Vietnam that can help expertise. So there are different entry points, as you see. Under organizations, you see the list of all organizations. In the search function, you can also just filter and tick different boxes depending on who you look for. So all of these features that I mentioned, the thematic sites, the calendar, the resource library, and the who is who are different features and examples of features on the Hub, which can help you access information and take action.
Thematically, the Hub focuses on all dimensions of sustainability, from the social to the environmental, and including everything from labor rights and industrial relations to gender equality, circularity, business resilience, chemical management, and many more. And what's really unique about the Hub, we think, is that you can use all of its features in 10 languages, including English, but also key Asian languages like Bangla or Chinese or Vietnamese, using our inbuilt translation tool. Of course, the tool itself isn't speaking fluently just yet. We're helping to improve it and its learning as we develop. But we think it's really an important start in breaking down language barriers and broadening access to knowledge across the supply chain. So I think without further ado, we should now introduce the Asia Garment Hub with a short video.
Can we have the sound? You're on mute, please.
Voices in the sector. Imagine there's a comprehensive digital library tailored to the garment and textile sector in Asia, viewed through a lens of sustainability and decent work. High-quality resources from leading organizations and respected voices in the sector, all for free. The Asia Garment Hub is a one-stop shop for the latest news, insights and resources to improve sustainability and decent work at the heart of the Asian garment and textile sector. We connect diverse stakeholders and showcase knowledge from across the global supply chain. Our mission: to inform, educate and spur action to address critical challenges and to drive real industry change. On the Hub, you'll find high-quality resources from leading industry organizations and respected voices, as well as a collaborative online community bringing together manufacturers, brands, worker and employer organizations, civil society, and multi-stakeholder initiatives. Our navigation and content is multilingual, so we speak your language. How can you benefit from the Asia Garment Hub? Upgrade your sustainability efforts with information, tools, and guidance from our resource library. Use our interactive map to find industry expertise and new sustainability partners. Find out what's on through our industry events calendar. Understand the issues shaping the industry with customized news and insights. Share your own resources and collaborate with other like-minded professionals. Whatever your background or interest, the Asia Garment Hub has something for you. Help us build a sustainable future for the industry in Asia. Join the Asia Garment Hub today.
Now, as today is the official launch day of the Asia Garment Hub, this means the platform is officially now open and ready to use. And you can sign up with a personal or organizational profile and start using and contributing today. In many ways, the journey begins today, though. As the number of users rise, our content and our resource library will also grow. However, we wanted to make sure that we don't launch an empty platform. And that's why if you visit today, you will find we already have over 30 member profiles and a range of high quality content across all sections of the hub. We're also happy to announce a partnership with Kaina Intel, who will be powering the newsfeed on the Asia Garment Hub. You may already know Kaina Intel as the team behind the Fashion Sustainability Week in Review blog and newsletter by Go Blue, which many of us in the industry subscribe to. And with their help, we're bringing you the best sustainability news from across the industry, all filterable in the same way that Alex mentioned in her earlier example.
As you can see, a lot of the features that we offer will be especially successful the more members join when you add your events, your resources, and your profiles on the hub. So please register, sign in, set up your profile, and please also share your feedback with us to help us improve the hub and bring us all closer together in the process. We also invite you to follow our social media channels and to stay up to date on the hub's development. By developing the Asia Garment Hub, we hope to build a thriving online community that contributes to the overall advancement of the sector, greater industry solidarity, stronger collaboration, and more collective action on common industry challenges.
So before we move on to the next part of the agenda, which is the panel discussion, where we will bring in some industry stakeholders, we'd really like to take this opportunity to say thank you to the ILO and GIZ teams. Many people that I may not be able to mention, but I'll try my best here. Juliet, Aaron, Marina, Tobias, Sasiwan, Ung, among others. Holden Howe and the developers at After 5 Technologies. To Anagata Design, and to the lead architect, Johan Aveling, who's also our moderator today. all of whom have been absolutely instrumental in getting us to where we are today. So thank you. And of course, there are many other partners as well who have been early supporters and advocates of the Asia Garment Hub way before the launch day. So I want to say a big thanks on behalf of the ILO and GIZ to those people. And over to Johan.
Thank you, David and Alexandra, and duly noted. I think bringing us all closer together is a good phrase for me to pick up and take us forward here. But before I do, just a couple of quick takeaways from the video and what you've said so far. The Asia Garment Hub is essentially a hub that brings stakeholders together in a shared online space. There's a lot of information out there, which is good, but it's sometimes hard to find and often not so easy to access. We don't want to duplicate what's already out there. We just want to make it easier to find, and it's free and easy to access. So thank you very much. Right, the panel discussion. In an effort to bring us together some key voices from different parts of the supply chain, I now want to introduce our panel. We want to hear what they think of the Asia Garment Hub from their particular vantage point and interest areas. In this regard, I'm excited to introduce three well-known industry leaders. Tracy Nelson, a Senior Director for Global Environment for the sportswear manufacturer Adidas, based in Hong Kong. Welcome, Tracy. Miran Ali is a garment producer from Bangladesh and the spokesperson of the STAR network of regional producer associations, among other roles, based in Dhaka. Welcome, Miran. Kungalit is the president of the Coalition of Cambodian Apparel Workers Democratic Union, one of Cambodia's leading garment sector trade unions. Welcome, Adit. So, before we start the panel discussion, let me just remind the audience that if you have any questions, please post them in the chat so that the Asia Garment Hub team can summarize them and pass them to me for the Q&A session, or they may also be answered directly in the chat. Miran, if you don't mind, I think I'll start with you. You are the spokesperson of the STAR network of regional producer associations. So obviously, you see the benefit of building regional alliances to achieve collective industry goals. Why do you think it's important to bring stakeholders together in a shared online space like the Asia Garment Hub? And what role do you think the hub can play in helping the industry spur greater regional sharing?
Thank you, Jon, and thank you everybody for having me here today on behalf of the STAR Network, as a matter of fact. Look, COVID-19 has been a cathartic experience for all of us, and it's still ongoing. It's a never-ending process. Now, what we have seen is I would not say a breakdown of the old ways of doing things, but rather a renewal. We are now in a position where we have to do things more collaboratively, and I don't just mean this as an empty platitude. The STAR network has brought together 6 disparate countries to commonly pool our knowledge and resources to try and achieve a more equitable supply chain. We have also added on 3 other countries, in addition to the original 6, in Turkey, Morocco, and Indonesia, to make it a 9-country group, and you will be hearing much more about that in the coming weeks. Now, what the STAR network showed us, and that is where exactly how the Asia Garment Hub fits in, is that we need a platform where not just a closed group of people, but rather the wider supply chain, the wider community, including the buying community, can access the same resources that we have put in work over the last year. Now, to give you a simple example, there are so many initiatives running in so many countries. Now, I'm a producer in Bangladesh. Bangladesh today has the highest number of LEED certified factories in the world. In fact, I own 2 of them. Now, these sustainability goal achievements that Bangladesh has made are ones that are available to a select few people within the STAR network who have visited Dhaka, who have visited our factories, but it's not available to the wider community. There is no loss of business competitiveness by sharing good practices, by raising the bar. And that, I believe, is something that the Asia Garment Hub is going to help us do. We need to raise the common bar of producing apparel in all these countries so that this race to the bottom, or this fallacy of a race to the bottom, is something that we can finally put to rest. So I think it's going to be very interesting. It's going to give us an opportunity to have support, to find consultants, resources, to achieve actually efficiencies as well. Again, another small example is if I want to find a consultant for a particular Higg index verification, it is again I will come to the Asia Garment Hub and find somebody here. I'll have access to a regional or global resource base rather than what is narrowly available in my own country, whichever that might be. So in summary, I think it is going to be an excellent collaborative platform, and on behalf of the STAR Network, and as a manufacturer myself, I welcome this, and I think it's going to be something that we should try to populate with data as fast as possible and really try to make it effective. Thank you very much, Johan.
Excellent, Miran. A couple of key words, if you don't mind, takeaways from that. Wider collaboration, inclusion, access, efficiency. I think that's fantastic, and clearly there should be lots of opportunities to collaborate in this particular space. Thank you, Miran. Tracy, Adidas is a brand that is at the very leading edge when it comes to innovation for environmental sustainability and climate. But we know this is an issue for which supply chain partnerships and regional and global cooperation is essential. What role do you see for the Asia Garment Hub to help your efforts as a brand to support your suppliers make green transformation, for example, when they think of greener production, decarbonization, etc.?
Yes. Thank you, Johan. It's a pleasure to be here. I think the Asian Garment Hub is a great tool. Definitely, we will promote it not only to our supply chain partners, but also internally. It shouldn't only be seen, to upskill our supply partners, but also within our larger organization. Everybody touches sustainability at one point. So I really think, one of the best features, to Miran's point, we have to get the information up as fast as possible, because if anything COVID has taught us, everybody is online right now. And that is one of the best features of the Asian Garment Hub. It does provide a 24-hour, 7 days a week access to ask questions, find solutions, really at a much faster rate than if we had to bring people together. So I think this is, really one of the key features. As Alexandra mentioned, I really see it as a one-stop, shop platform with a comprehensive knowledge hub. It's addressing various aspects about sustainability, both within social, but also key environmental ones, such as, the climate action. Many of us have probably read the IPCC report of late. So it really is, of utmost importance. And, bringing all of those stakeholders together, trying to find solutions and connecting, a collaborative space where, you are not alone. You can reach out to, manufacturers in the same country or others to say, hey, this is an issue. Have you also encountered it? How have you solved it? Or do you have somebody I can be in touch with? I really think this interactiveness, collaborative platform will be a key changer for the industry.
Lovely. Thank you, Tracy. A couple of key points as well. So you access to news, knowledge, promotion, the upscaling, the 24/7 interactability. Wonderful. Thank you. Moving over to you, Atit. You're representing the Coalition of Cambodian Apparel Workers Democratic Union, one of the most prominent garment unions in Cambodia. From a union perspective, how do you think the Asia Garment Hub can help you and other worker representatives to support workers' rights, both at the factory level and in your industry level advocacy? In other words, what particular features of the hub would you get union members interested in and particularly keen to participate in?
Yes, thank you. Good to see you all, and nice to hear all the good comment and the new development of the Asia Hub. So I think come to the worker perspective, we have a different angle or different corner of perspective. Like we think the evidence and the information is a power for us. It's a bridge for us also. This is very important because we face many challenges in our union, because we grow from very factory based, and we try to link with different organizations. So sometimes very big diverse of platform that we are facing challenges with. So I think this is a first time that we hope the synchronize of the information in one place is very crucial and very unique for us as a worker, as a trade union organization. So we could get more quicker, easy access and faster, where we can look for the information and evidence and knowledge for our member and or for the negotiation purposes. And I think the other point is like this is a learning place and also the sharing platform for us, that we want to learn from different country, different industry, and different type of individual expert, all those things that we also hope to, I mean, in the union, we want to improve our capacity to learn such a tool, not an easy, like maybe let the academic and others advanced researchers. So the union, we need a lot of more also to learn. Even we have this good platform, but of course we need some more training and also guiding to help us also. So I think this is like also a good place to link and to work with other unions, and also try to access to more information in the industry for our capacity building and for the negotiation purposes, for the improving the working condition of the workers, and also to improve collaboration and good dialogue with government and employer, also for the union in let's say in the 21st century. And I agree that COVID-19 is have challenges and create more barriers. So this is also a very good timing platform that we can benefit from it during this hard time. Yes, thank you.
Excellent, that's it. Thank you. A couple of keywords, if you don't mind, takeaways. Capacity development, connection to others, and of course the workers' right is very much part of the sustainability equation. Absolutely. Miran, you are not just a member of many networks, but you're also a business owner yourself. What specific benefits do you see for businesses in using the Asia Garment Hub? And how might the platform be of use and benefit to a factory looking for practical resources, for example?
Well, let's start off with a fundamental issue. knowledge is power. And by having access to knowledge base and to news collated from across the supply chain, which is, by the way, free, we will then have information on what is happening in other countries. I know Kun Natit myself, so I can message him and get information on what's happening in Cambodia. But generally, unless somebody specifically goes searching for an information, it's very difficult to find one website where you will get properly collated and verified information from multiple countries. So this is going to be very useful. It's going to be a source for us to get information. That's number one. Number two, if you just go through the site, you'll find that it's divided into thematic groups. Now, for example, one of the issues that I'm not a supplier for Tracy, but I know Tracy's always on about it, is wastewater discharge and chemical handling. Now, that is one of the critical hurdles, or not hurdles, challenges that our sector, regardless of which country you're in, is going to be facing. However, there are different people at different stages of the management of this process. Through the thematic section of the website of the hub, you can then find a resource database, through which you can find consultants and information on chemical management. Now, for those of us, and we all intend to remain in business, remain competitive, make sure that we are building a sustainable future for our sector, this is going to be an important information, not just chemicals. Right now we have chemicals. Then we're going to have water recycling, we will have rainwater harvesting, more information, resources for greater efficiencies, machineries. So the potential is actually endless on what can be achieved and what information can be gathered here, which will benefit us as manufacturers directly. As manufacturers, we want to reduce waste, improve efficiency, and be on the cutting edge and informed of what's happening in the market, in the industry. This is the place for us. Thank you.
Excellent. Indeed, Miran, knowledge is power, but only if it's actionable, right? Adit, looking at the future, how would you like to see union colleagues using the platform? And what opportunities do you see to further develop the platform so it's more union friendly, so to speak?
Yeah, so I think a few points. So I think the thematic area is also very important for the unions, that we can access, we can do more searching and learning from that, and also the resource. I mean the resource features is also very important for us as a union. And as I said, we looking for the specific area also for the union, for the worker itself, like specific feature and an area that talk more about union, because I think this is very good and very rich informations and knowledge in Asia about union. So and if we can improve, and in the futures we can have more dedicated platform for the union and the worker, which is, I always keep saying that quite simple. It is to simplify the knowledge, so not just too much academic and things like advanced, but it's more like worker and union friendly, dedicated info and knowledge is for us. So this is what we're looking for. But I mean the existing is quite good enough for now. So but the other point is also the language, which is David have also mentioned earlier, that if we can move the languages more smoothly, so I think this is became more like a very friendly and become like alive, very say it alive, very it's for all people, not just for a group of people. So that is the language barrier that we need to, we need to work out a bit harder than others. So two things. So the simplify the friendlies and knowledge and experience and think about the union and the worker and the languages. So this is what we're looking for the futures. Yeah.
Excellent. I'm sure both David and Alexandra are taking notes furiously here to make sure that that particular aspect is being included as we move forward in this journey. Tracy, looking forward, how far do you think the Asia Garment Hub can go in becoming a key player in possibly helping solve practical problems and shaping the industry's sustainability journey in the future? And what's the most important thing it needs to do in order to achieve that in your perspective, from your perspective?
Yeah, I would say maybe there's three key elements that I see at the moment. As it develops, I'm sure more thoughts will come to mind, but I think there's three key ones that do sort of stand out. I think also building on Miran's comments earlier is that, brands along with our supply chain partners are all on different phases of their, journeys, be it in climate action or chemicals or social. So, having this hosted by GIZ and IFC, I really do believe that they could visibly provide what are the current projects that are available in the different countries for brands or suppliers to enroll in, because, to Miran's point earlier, you have some connections, but not everybody has those connections. So providing that visibility in what is out there and what you can tap into, I think that would be a great opportunity going forward for the Asian Garment Hub. And that would also help scale, agendas, really trying to find common ground and synergies between brands, manufacturers, as well as service providers. So I think that really would attract as many stakeholders as possible. I think the second element, as I've been sort of going through it and, as we try to attract more stakeholders, be it, individuals and brands, it really is that one-stop shop. There is going to be a lot of information, a wealth of, connections out there. I think if they could provide sort of a similar function to like LinkedIn, because you could follow people, you would now, there's not, a lot of content on it, but as it progresses, there's going to be, a wealth of information. So if you could it will help you navigate the information that you want to follow quickly, as opposed to going through it and getting maybe, distracted. So I think it has to be made easy and exactly what you want to see, right? With the function of looking for other things, because, people are bombarded with a lot of information. And I think the last point that I would like to bring up is really if anything, the COVID has taught us is we're not always able to get together to upskill and train. So the future digital space for the exchange of upskilling, supply chain partners, internal, stakeholders on key training content at your own pace whenever you want. I really think that is going to be, a key changer, is that comprehensive training courses at your own pace when you want it will really be an attractiveness.
Excellent, Tracy. Thank you. Indeed, the surgical tailorization of content would be a fantastic feature to pursue to facilitate a a personal access point. Totally agree with that. Tracy, Atit, Miran, thank you so much. We're now going to move into a segment which we've heard from the panel, and now we're going to take a few questions from the audience. We have, for example, we have a question here from Shamsul Arafin. I'm hoping I am pronouncing your name correctly. From Bangladesh, asks essentially who will be in charge of maintaining the Asia Garment Hub? David, Alexandra, either one of you, please.
Yeah, I can take this one, Johan. Thanks for the question. Well, who owns and who runs the platform? Well, this is ILO and GIZ, so we are the host organizations, and we developed the Asia Garment Hub. So for the time being, the management and the ownership of the Asia Garment Hub lies with ILO and GIZ. Of course, we have longer-term sustainability plans, and this hub was designed to be something that would mature and eventually become a standalone resource for the industry, run by the industry. And I can talk a little bit more about that as well down the line if we have some time. But the short answer to the question is that ILO and GIZ are managing it. We have a team, very, very capable team. I hope we've demonstrated some of our capabilities today, including the launch event itself. But we have a great team, and we're running the platform.
Excellent. We have another question here from an unnamed source. Who verifies whether the practices presented on the Asia Garment Hub are indeed best or good practices, and what is the minimum standard to be fulfilled to be selected? Alexandra, do you want to give that a shot?
Of course. Thank you. Thank you also for the question. First of all, we try our best to do quality assurance. We have a content manager in the back, and some of you may already have seen that we got a few questions in the last days for people who signed in with their profile, and then they said, oh, it doesn't show up. Actually, first you need to turn it from private to public, and then we also check it. Of course, we can't go into every detail, but we do check, is that a real person? Does that make sense? So on the one hand, of course, we need to have a disclaimer here. We can never guarantee you 100%, right? And we don't have the authority to judge this is exactly the good practice from here and there. But I would really emphasize the importance of transparency here. People can only upload information if they are registered, either with a private profile with your name and details, or with an organization profile. So that means it doesn't really make sense to put something up there if you don't stand for it with your name or your organization title. And then I would really also encourage trust into all the good practices that have already been collected. I feel there are many organizations, GIZ and ILO being just two of them, that have collected so many good practices on so many topics in the past. And I feel we need to become better, all of us, to make those available. But there's so many collections, so many studies, so many outlines on official good practices where we had audits, where we had teams on the ground that have been very well documented. And I really think the problem is more to make them easier to find rather than that they don't exist. So I hope that this helps answer the question, but I do think transparency is a key here.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Alexandra. We have another question from Saida Hamid. Would like to know if the platform will be equally helpful for governments. David?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, governments we mentioned right at the top, and in the trailer video as well. We talked about policymakers and government partners. And of course, they are instrumental in making the changes that we want to see in the garment industry when we talk about sustainability and decent work. From the ILO side and also GIZ side, government and policymakers are a key stakeholder group. They're one of the ILO core constituents. And a lot of the information and knowledge that we produce institutionally is aimed at policy making and policy change. So we really hope to engage policymakers, that we provide useful resources for policymakers, and we will continue reaching out to our constituents and our partners in the policy making arena to get their inputs and get their feedback on how the hub can be improved and be tailored for their needs and their interests. So they will be one of the groups that we continue to speak to, as we will with other stakeholders, in order to improve our offer for policymakers.
Great, thank you. Perhaps one final question from the audience. There's a question here that is relating to, is there any themes focusing on the workers' health or well-being in the platform as part of a safe workspace? I don't have a name of that question, but it came up. Alex?
Let me maybe start on that. I think there are different pathways. So one is, if you go in our resource section and click on resources on the top bar, you can actually filter the resources, and there you can pick as theme decent work and social and labor standards. So that would workplace health and safety, for example. And we also have a specific theme site, which is a site we set up, but it basically pulls information that are tagged accordingly from all the other features of the hub. So if you go under themes and then decent work and social and labor standards, to give you a suggestion. And otherwise, please feel free to also encourage new subsites. We've started to already add some subsites of our own. So for example, if you go under themes and climate and environment, we have a lot of materials at GIZ, for example, on chemical management, a lot of training materials, a lot of resources, toolkits. There's a lot by Partnership for Sustainable Textiles. And of course, we all know ZDHC has a lot on that as well. So we've already started to set up a subsite on that because we feel it's going to be asked for very soon. And if you want to make suggestions, we have an email address, which is feedback@asiagarmenthub.net. You can always send an email and reach out, and we are happy to really broaden this. So this is really, I think we've said that before, this is a start, right? We are launching something, and we wanted to make sure we don't launch an empty portal, as David already said. But this is only the start of a journey, and we really want to develop this in a more agile and demand-driven way.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Alexandra. A last question from Anne Kullman from SIDA. She's asking, will you also continue to provide space for focused dialogue between stakeholders on the platform? David, do you want to take a crack at that?
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks, Anne, for that comment, that question. We have a discussion section in the Asia Garment Hub, and that is one of the sections that we will be developing and building out in the coming months. So our plan is absolutely to create space for dialogue among different stakeholders. We wanted it to be a connecting point, the Asia Garment Hub, to bring different stakeholders together. And for those members that have already signed up and those who are intending to sign up, hopefully after this event, we will keep our membership informed about discussions that we are going to hold on the Asia Garment Hub. And we also welcome requests and suggestions from our membership as to what discussions they might want to bring to the Asia Garment Hub, and we would be happy to discuss hosting that.
Excellent. So for those questions that have been posted in the chat, we will try to get back to you as soon as we can. But in the interest of time, I'd like to proceed, if you don't mind. Alex and David, you've heard a lot of appreciation towards the initiative, but also a lot of expectations, obviously. How can the Asia Garment Hub live up to those expectations?
Thank you, Johan. Yes, that's a very good and very relevant question. So as I already mentioned, the launch, of course, is only one step to a larger movement on more alignment and easier access to sustainability resources. And we are really following the idea here. If you really want to make an impact in the industry, the solutions must be easier to find and easier to apply.
Excellent. David?
Yeah, I mean, the Asia Garment Hub itself has been a learning process from the start, and it continues to be so for all of us. Going forward, we do want to develop the platform in a flexible way. We want to base it around the needs and the demand coming from the industry, and we will adjust and improve based on that. Ultimately, the success of the platform, of the Asia Garment Hub, will depend on the user community, I think. And that's why, as industry stakeholders joining today, we really want to ask the audience to get involved and help us grow the platform by contributing, spreading the word, and letting us know how it can be improved.
No, absolutely. A platform of this nature is, as you say, only as good as the users and their engagement. Absolutely. A final question. I guess I'll pose that to both of you. So it's still a road ahead, and I understand today it is the starting journey, obviously. However, we also know that projects have a timeline, and that's also the case for the GIZ Fabric project and the ILO CETA project. While both projects are still up and running some time to come, what's the long-term vision for the Asia Garment Hub from the GIZ perspective and from the ILO perspective? David?
Well, in fact, ILO and GIZ are committed to supporting the hub. That's the key point right at the outset, and we will continue supporting it until it's on a very solid growth path. But our plan also, as I mentioned, as I touched upon earlier, has always been to eventually hand it over to a sustainability partner from within the garment sector, an organization with authority and broad legitimacy among the stakeholders. And that organization would take it forward as an industry-led resource. This is something that we're already looking at right now as part of our sustainability planning exercise.
Excellent. Alex, from the GIZ perspective?
Yes, maybe I can just add to that. Another option we are looking into right now is also if we can set up a rotating ownership model, which could have one organization take the hosting or the chairing of the hub for a year, and then another organization to take over the next year. This procedure has a precedent, and there are good practice examples from other portals and other sectors. And we also would like to learn from them. And the advantage we see in the rotation model, if it becomes the rotation model in the end, is that the Asia Garment Hub could be very well driven and shaped from within the industry with diverse perspectives reflecting its evolution. So if you have 1 year somebody from the brand side shaping it, of course, that would give it a different touch and develop certain areas more. Whereas if a civil society organization or maybe a manufacturing group hosts it for another year, that would shape it in another direction. And I think this could really work well because this is actually the core of what we envisage, bringing different organizations and different organization types and their views and solutions together so that we can really jointly make the industry more sustainable.
No, absolutely. I mean, the word sustainability is, of course, key here, but it's also important to realize that sustainability is not for free, and it requires both human resources and financial resources to achieve sustainability in a manner that is proper, so to speak. Excellent. Thank you very much, Alex and David, and for answering all of those questions from the audience and for making some final clarifications. That brings us to the end of today's event. I think you'll all agree that this has been a fantastic resource with huge potential to do good in the garment industry and in the garment sector, both in Asia and across the supply chain. It's important that to recognize that this potential is large and that we need to harness that somehow. It is herewith officially opened, and you are encouraged to now move over to asiagarmenthub.net to have a closer look, to register and to see for yourself what the hub is all about and what it can offer. So all that is left now for me to do is to say thank you to today's guests, Tracy, Miran, Adit, as well as the ILO and GIZ teams. And last but not least, you, the audience, for for taking the time to join us and posing your questions and showing your engagement. We hope that it's been both informative and enjoyable. The recording of this event will soon be available, so please check your social media channels to share it or to watch it again. As mentioned earlier, today is just the start of the Asia Garment Hub story. Its success will depend on industry engagement, especially from you, the users. And we hope to see all of you on the hub soon and invite you to follow the social media channels to stay up to date. So from my side, thank you very much. Take care, stay well, and get connected.